2, 3, 4.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome back to another review from Roy's Reviews. And today we are looking at the SMRT coil from Wotofo. This is the PNP version of the coil. So what we're going to do is, when we drop down to the table, show you everything you get in the box, build the coil. So it's a rebuildable coil that is a PNP coil, it states. Build it, stick it into it, and then come back up here again and I'll tell you my thoughts. See you. Okay, so here we are down at the table with the Wotofo SMRT coil, or smart coil, and this is the package. It comes in a little hard plastic container. As you can see, it says on there Wotofo. This is the smart PNP coil. You can get other ones to fit other pods and to make other coils. You get your list of contents. You forgot the word there, and you've all your applicable warnings across there, and nothing much else on this. Now, I have had this box opened because I've already built the coil, used the coil, so this isn't exactly the way it comes, but it is everything you get with it. You get your user manual, which takes you through all the steps. Zoom out a bit. Takes you through all the steps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 steps to build this. All looks nice and simple on there, but will I get it as nice and simple? Probably not. Okay, so in here you get your strips of cotton. You get your little bag of O-rings, which has got your also the rebuildable coil in there, your accessories, and the coiling rod. So here is the coiling rod. Here is the coil cage and the top of the coil. So when it screws together, like so, that is your PNP coil. You also get 2 of the little gold battery stoppers for the bottom, and you also get 2 of these, which is the little rubber grommet and insulator for the coil legs. The different types of coil or mesh you get. And say I already have used one of these, so there is still 5 here, because you get 2 of each, which is 6. So these mesh coils come in extreme, which is the really tight one. Wrong one. That's the extreme, which is the really tight one. Then you get the turbo, which is the next one down. The holes are slightly bigger. And then you also get the chill, which is that one. The holes, moved the wrong way around. Very hard to see. The difference between, they're all 0.2 ohms, but they just sort of vape at different voltages compared to what you're going for. Straighten the leg out again. So we need one of these bad boys. We need a strip of cotton. Okay, this is the way it comes. We also need the coil tool, that one. So we put this legs the right way around. So the legs, I don't know if you're going to be able to see on the camera or not, but there is a raised side just here, and then this side is flat. Because you're wanting the cotton to be touching the mesh at all time, you want the flat side to lay onto your cotton, like so. And then take your coil tool, so the thick end goes opposite away from the legs. You want it in the middle, and then all you have to do is bring up the two sides like that. Bend the coil round like so, and squeeze it really tight at that end. That's the hard bit over, he says. Now, what you want to do is take the bottom part of the cage, and you can see where this big cutout is on one side. Put the two legs up through the middle, like so, and then keeping the cotton nice and tight, you're wanting it to go into the gap on the side like so, so the cotton sticks out like that, and you have your two legs up in the center. Now separate the legs out, so the one nearest the front, like so, you have the wee gap notch there. You want to just fold it into that little gap, like so, and it goes through. Next you want to take your rubber grommet, the black one, feed it over the top of the other leg, and then just squish it into place, like so, and then fold the other leg over like that. See now you've got the two legs there, still separated. Take your little gold pin, and you put it into the center, like so. So now you've got your two legs and your cotton all in there. So now what you're going to need to do is snip the legs off of your coils. So you want to take it as close to the base there as possible, like so, and again as tight into the coil as you can, like so. Take the coil tool out, and as you can see, you have your coil mesh now installed. Lastly, you're just going to need to trim down your cotton. I just like to make sure that it's put inside, just right inside the coil, because when you put the last part of the cage over, you don't want any sticking out, because otherwise it won't go on right. And lastly, put this bit on. It just screws on nice like that. And there you have it, your PMP coil. Just leaves you now to juice up and put it into a pod. So I'm going to try some of this juice. Come back out again a wee bit. Pocket juice, blue pear ice. I'm just going to get this onto it. So again, as normal, you just want to make sure your cotton is well saturated, and then even when you put it into the device, you're wanting to leave it for at least 5 minutes. Again, put it into this PMP pod, and it goes, fits in there lovely and perfectly, and fill up the pod. So join me up top when I'll go through the what I think of the SMRT Coil from Wotofo. Okay, and welcome back up again, folks. So we have it built. It's sitting here on top of the Drag 3 in the larger PMP pod. And I've also got a PMP pod here with the PMP coil, and it's the same juice in both of them. So, and they're both sitting at 50 watts, as you can see. Just to let you know what I think. I know I made that look a lot harder than it actually is. When you're not doing it on camera and you've got it sitting straight in front of you, it is a lot easier to build. Trust me, it is. It is actually quite simple. Even I can do it. So here we are, 50 watts, Drag 3, and we are vaping some Captain's Custard Strawberry Custard. Straight away, as you can see, really good vapor production on there. Do it with the Drag S. Just a slight difference. I don't know if it picks up on the camera or not. Just a slight difference in the sound. But what we'll do is we'll transfer it over. So this is the normal PMP coil. Again, we'll hit this at 50 watts. And the sound is just the same as it is on the Drag S. So the airflow is slightly different configuration on this. I would say it's slightly bigger. But rather vapey in here. What do I think of it? Flavour wise, it's not a kick in the arse of an RDA. Honestly, it's not. It is that good. There is a huge... I actually quite enjoy my PMP coils. I do use them all the time. But this rebuildable, the SMRT coil, the flavour is a lot more punchier. On the strawberry custard, I'm picking up on the notes of the strawberry even better. And the creaminess of the custard's coming out. So the coil is performing at its absolute max. You know, the distance between the top of the coil and the mouthpiece, definitely making a difference on here. As you've seen, it is the extreme coil that I've got in here, mesh coil, which is to run at the higher wattage. If you wanted it mouth to lung, you probably could run the less extreme coil. I am super impressed with this coil. At the price point, so it's roughly about £8, and that gets you 6 coils. You know, the cheapest I've seen you can buy 5 PMP coils is roughly a tenner. Most places it's £12. So if you take even 2 of those at £10, you're only getting 3 of these, which is going to give you 18 coils instead of 15 coils. It makes its perfect sense. You probably could source your cotton and the mesh elsewhere for it to go into, making it even cheaper again. But yeah, I am super impressed with it. It's an easy straight 10 out of 10 on that coil for me, because I say I do like my PMP coils. So if you have PMP devices and you want to use, you know, you're fed up buying stock coils, get over to Nature Vape, which is where I purchased this one. $7.99 on there. If you pick up other things to help negate the bit of the postage on it, but even if you put the postage on there, it's still going to run cheaper per coil than buying PMP pods. Could this be the way forward? I have waited for someone to make something that's nice and easy. Yes, It's a little bit like Mark's the Nest, but this is been using your PMP stuff as well. The flavour is great, and as for the coil life, I'm getting in there. Vaping Captain's Custard, which is quite sweet on it. I'm getting, there's a, whenever I changed it out, I don't know, do I still have the little bit here after a week? I did keep it for the purpose of, yes I did. So the coil that I took out, this is after a week, folks, so a week of using Captain's Custard. That is what the colour of the cotton was that was round the mesh. Yeah, it's basically still crystal clean after 7 days. You're probably looking pushing 2.5 weeks per coil that you build. I vape it anywhere between 50 and 65 watts, just depending on what mood I'm in and what flavour I want to get them out of the Captain's Custard. And no issues with leaking, no issues with anything else. It is working as it should. So folks, if you've enjoyed this review, give me a thumbs up, drop me a comment down below. If you haven't enjoyed the review and you give me a thumbs down, well, still drop me a wee comment down below, very much appreciated. And if you're not subscribed to me, please consider hitting the wee subscribe button and the bell if you want to get notified when I upload reviews. And to everybody who is subscribed to me, thank you very much. Every subscription is greatly appreciated. And it just remains me to say, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're watching this review. Take care now. Bye.
1, 2, 3, 4.